Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Kino and thank you very much for joining me. We are not in Kalapolis today. No, we are not. We are in the design world. And the reason we're in the design world is because I have got possibly an outdated farm system now, but a semi-automatic farm system in my survival world. And over a few of the recent episodes and recent streams, I had a few comments asking what it is and how it works. So I thought I would show you guys just how we farm crops semi-automatically prior to the villager farms. Now I think this system is still pretty good. It does get a bit monotonous when you have to plant your own crops, but it's also a good way of keeping villagers away from our bases if you don't want them to become a village and therefore activating raids and things like that. So these farms are pretty good. They are very, very simple. They are stackable as well. They're modular. So although I'm going to show you just how to build one section of this farm today, this is 3 sections. And you can go up and up and up and up as high as you want. It produces plenty of food just from this one farm here, which is 3 sections. I'll show you guys now. So when we set it off a moment ago, it gave us all of this. So we've got 5 or 6 stacks of seeds, 2 or 3 stacks of wheat, 4 stacks of potatoes, and 4 stacks of carrots. So there's plenty there. You know, do this a couple of times and you'll completely fill a double chest quite easily. So for this, we don't need a lot at all. We need some redstone. We need some redstone repeaters if you're planning on running the redstone quite far, and you need a button to activate the redstone. And these are all to power dispensers, which you will have filled with water buckets. We need some solid blocks, so I just use dirt because it's nice and easy for the purpose of this. We're going to need chests, some hoppers, any stairs you like, and I can show you the reason why for this. In fact, you may even choose to go solid blocks, but these are just for the perimeter to stop everything overflowing out the sides. So I've gone with stairs and I've gone with trapdoors. And then we're also going to need, obviously, some wheat seeds. You can use carrots and potatoes as well, a hoe of some sort, and at least 8 water buckets. That's one for each dispenser, but we're also going to need to do some runs of water as well. So the first thing we're going to want to do is dig a trench 8 blocks wide. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the reason we do that is because this is going to become a water run. And in the bottom of the end, doesn't matter either end, we're just going to clear out maybe sort of an area like that. So 12 blocks, so 3 by 2 twice. Then over here, we're going to start off, we're going to put a chest and double chest it like this. Then we're going to have hoppers coming out the back of there and hoppers coming out the back of there. And then we just want to put that back in there. So now, as the water flows down there, let's put the water in to show you. So as the water flows down here, outflow, everything will be pushed into these hoppers, which will then ultimately go in the chest. And I can show you that by doing this. And there we go. And that's down into our chest. Once you've done that, you want to dig out another 2 8-block trenches so that we're making a sort of square. So we're going to come along this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we'll go across to the other side. So this is the end where we're going to be collecting from. And these are the edges. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now if we put the water in this end, and we'll put the water in that end. Now these water are not for collection. These are to irrigate the crops in between. So for the purpose of now, we're not going to do anything with those. Then the final side of our square, we're going to put in dispensers. 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So we've now got an 8 by 8 by 8 by 8 square. These dispensers, you're going to put water, a bucket of water in each dispenser. Like so. Now when we come behind the dispenser, we just need a solid block running like this. This can be any block you want. And then on top of the solid block, goes behind, we're going to run a row of redstone. Now here we're just going to run the row of redstone out and into the button like so. Now what we need to do is make sure nothing sort of escapes from our farm. So for this one, we are going to put steps down here. And we're going to carry these on so that the steps go all the way around the edge. And then we're going to come and do the same on the other side. Okay, then what we're going to do is we want to go one more block, one block further up. So I use trapdoors. I'm just going to run around the edge here and just place trapdoors down. And that gives us one last little extra bit of height. Now what we've done there is we've made an interior where nothing is going to be able to escape from. And the last thing we need to do is just put a row of steps in this side here as well. And that finishes it off. And that's so that nothing escapes down this end. Now, when we've had stuff in here, everything's going to flow out to the end. And what we're going to do, we're then going to put our hoe. We're then going to get our hoe. And we're just going to hoe out all of this area. You can see some parts of it start going dark, and that's where the water is. Now we're just going to plant our seeds. So I've planted wheat seeds, but you can do this with potatoes and carrots as well. There we go. Now all you need to do, just take down one of the trapdoors, put it back up, and we allow the plants to grow. Once all the wheat's grown and you need it, it's really simple to use. All we do is we press the button here. That activates the hoppers, which squirts water out, the droppers even, and that pushes the water to there. As we're 8 blocks, that's the maximum it will go. And then we press it one more time, and that will turn it off. And then the water goes back into the buckets inside the dispensers. Now, everything is run down here, everything is run down here, and everything is now in our chest. So we're going to have lots and lots of wheat, and in a moment we'll have lots and lots of seeds. So what we do in the meantime, we just need to put back in here, and we're just going to replant everything quickly. Now that we've replanted everything, we can see just how much has come through. We've got all of these seeds coming through, and we've got an entire stack of wheat. And that's just from that square area there, and that's one little farm. Now this farm is infinitely extendable, and it's really simple. All we need to do is just bring this up a layer and push it along like so. And I'll show you how to do that now. And this is what I mean by infinitely renewable. So all I've done is we've got the lower floor that we started with just a moment ago, and we just extended it up. And you can do this as far as you want to go. The only thing you do need to remember when you're doing it like this is that these next platforms have to be 7 wide. And that's because water only flows 8 blocks. So if you were to have them 8, the water would come to the end and it would stop. Whereas when they've got 7, the water will come to the end, it will drop down onto the next platform. It will go another 7, it will drop down onto the next platform, and so on and so on. So I've gone 3 wide, 3 high on this one, but you can go as far as you want. And I've put potatoes and carrots in there just to show you guys what you can do. On the side here, you've got to make sure the water is still irrigated. So even though these do look like solid planks, they're actually stairs that I have put water sources inside them. You can just see through that gap there, just so that it irrigates the crops and it keeps them nice and fresh. What we do here is over here now, we are going to press the button. That sets it all off. We're going to press the button again, just to suck the water back in. And that water has flown all the way down there and pushed everything down the bottom into the area where it's going to be collected by these hoppers. Now the hoppers are full at the moment, so it will take a few seconds just for those to work their way in and into the chest. Another thing to remember, the higher you're going to go is to overlap your trapdoors. Obviously we wanted the trapdoors to the ends there, but where it does flow over the edge there, sometimes it can get caught. So just do an extra trapdoor, 1 block in, like this side, or whatever you want to do. As long as it's 2 blocks high, stop anything from overflowing out to the edge there. And then when you come up, you can replant all your crops. And now that they're all planted, we can see that everything is still very, very slowly working its way through the hoppers and into the chest there. But that is how much we've got, how many crops we've got out of that whole section there. And that's just 3 of these farms. You can go as high as you want, as wide as you want. You can build any systems here for the redstone as much as you want to make it more sort of detailed and hidden. And you can design the side so it looks better. You can just use normal walls. You can use anything you want as long as it doesn't overflow on the side. Now, the last thing I will say is I have kind of experimented with villagers in there to see if they do replant. I haven't been very successful. It just ultimately ends up with a villager in there. He then jumps around and ruins all of the area around there, so you then have to come in with a hoe anyway. So this is a completely semi-automatic food farm. And that is it, guys. Thank you very much for joining me. This is a semi-automatic food farm. If you have any questions or anything, do drop them in the comments below. If you've learned anything or I have inspired you, please do hit that like and share button and follow me. And then you can be the first to see whenever I post any new videos and tutorials that may help you. Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure for you coming along today, and I really do appreciate all your support. So remember, build like no one's watching, and I'll catch up with you soon.